Just I'm sharing on my screen now just the link to the release notes from the last major release, the 1.22 release. And so today Binny is going to be demoing some of these features. So Ashok had demoed some of the preliminary work around the term deposits and recurring deposits, but Binny will once again do a demonstration of that, as well as some of the standing instructions and a number of the other features. And then Binny, did you want to touch on what some of the other development that's happening now, or some of the other specifications that you're working on that we're looking for user feedback about?
Yeah, see, other than the features that were released recently, like term deposits, fixed deposits, standing instructions, and accrual accounting, etc., there are other features that we're working on currently, like one of the specifications that I'm working on is the teller cash accounting. So if you have a lot of cash transactions at your branch, you may want to manage tellers and teller cash accounting, etc. So we're building a feature around that, or at least I'm writing the specs around it. The development has not yet started on it. One of the other things we're looking at is rescheduling of loans, like providing moratorium in between, or rescheduling one payment, or giving a different interest rate, etc. The other really big, really important feature that we're working on is the true reducing interest calculation based on diminishing balance. What we support today is, even though we call it diminishing balance, that is, it prepares a schedule at the beginning of the loan, and it does not change during the duration of the loan. Even if the customer pays something in advance or is late in paying, there is no penalty or there is no benefit that the customer gets by prepaying or paying in advance. So the feature that we are looking at is to give that benefit, either the benefit to the customer if he pays in advance, or penalize the customer if the customer pays late. So that it's a true reducing balance based interest calculation. That's a very complicated piece of code or feature that we are working on. So yeah, these are three of the features that we are working on. The release dates, we are pretty certain that the diminishing balance one is the one that we have highest priority for. Yeah, the others would be following immediately after that.
Okay, thanks, Binny.
Any questions?
Yeah, and I'll post the link to some of the specifications that Binny has drafted in the notes document, so others can review those. But I think Binny, or it might just be proof of concept or solution concept level right now, but we do have Marcus who started to work on the teller cash management development of that. So did you see his progress there, Binny?
Yeah, I did. I'm yet to review it and then give him feedback. So yes, that is. I know that he started working on it, but I will review it in the next couple of days and give him the required inputs. I think he had a few questions for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Patrick, go ahead with your question. Were you going to ask about the SMS integration? No, Patrick, I think you're self-muted, so you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear
Hello?
you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Patrick.
So I wanted to ask two questions in respect to features. The SMS bit, the SMS notification which will go out. I've been following the trail of mails by Sander and the rest. I don't know where we are on it and the kind of resources given to it and how soon we can get it out. Because most of the, I've just done 3 implementation. 1 has gone live, 2 are still pending through testing and power runs, but it looks more likely that is a major thing that they all want to get. So I want to find out. That's the first question. The second question is, how soon are we working on loan repayment from savings accounts being automated? So in situation where they have linked the savings account to the loan account. We can run a schedule or a job that can check repayments and deduct it from the savings and put it into the loan for loan repayment. If we have any information on that, I'll be happy to get any updates on that.
Binny, like, could you what is the?
Yeah. No,
sorry. No, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Binny.
So I'll answer it to the best. Yeah, I'll answer the two questions to the best of my ability. SMS is the first question. Where are we on that? And see, the platform supports or has the infrastructure to support an SMS integration. What I mean by infrastructure is that it can define templates, and it can form, based on the templates, it can form the message that actually needs to be sent out. But I don't think the platform, I could be wrong, I'll confirm this and get back to you tomorrow. But the platform does not support actual integration with the SMS gateway as today, because each country might have its own gateways and each implementation might have its own gateways. So we have not actually done the physical integration with the gateway yet. But internally, in terms of creating the message and defining which are the events for which we need to send out the message, this infrastructure is there. I would need to review that and confirm to you that what I just said is 100% right, and that there is really no need to extend that infrastructure that exists inside. I would need to discuss with the technical team to confirm that. I will confirm on that shortly. Regarding the second question regarding making payments, the question was whether we can make loan repayments from the savings account. Yes, we can do that. There is a feature called standing instructions, which is released in 1.22, and that allows you to say that from your savings account you can make your loan payments or your fee payments, etc.
And will you be able?
There are two more.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Binny.
Yeah, one point I wanted to add further is that there is one more feature that we are working on, which is to open a fixed deposit or recurring deposit directly from the savings account, and also to pay the interest of any fixed deposit or recurring deposit directly to your savings account. This feature is not yet there, but in relation to loans, we have more or less done the integration between savings and the loan account.
Okay,
Patrick,
let
did
me
you have a
get
question
to the
there?
first one. Yes, I'm saying for the first one, I've been informed about it. I actually even looked at it with Nayan and Visuals some time back about the integration of the SMS. So it made me to know that it can be done. So I just even did a simple app that sends the SMS from in Java, and wanted to find out how I can add it to the code for it to do that when it's a cash deposit or withdrawal. So I don't know. I understand the difficulty because each region and there are different gateways. But then, if my point really is on if I am able to get a hold of my gateway and be able to have parameters to pass to it for it to work, what is needed again for me to do that. That's what I'm actually interested in more, so that I'll be able to know what to do. Kind of, as I always say, important is for you to be able to know what to say and trying to give timelines to clients when they want solutions. So that's why I'm asking that. And the second one, I'm asking standing instructions. I don't know whether the standing order will be able to do that, because in standing order you have to state the amount you want to deduct from the savings to the loan account. But in terms, I'm looking at it in this way that when the job is run, it should check what is the loan outstanding and be able to check the savings account and see if the balance is enough for it and be able to deduct it and make the repayment. That's what I'm looking out for. So I don't know how well the standing strategy will be able to do it, and also if you use standing strategy, that means you need to state when you need to stop, whether indeed the customer did have money in the account to finish the loan during the loan expiry. So I think maybe we need to look at it in depth in terms of the withdrawal from the savings account to pay the loan.
Yeah, so there is an option in standing instructions to define a transfer, and when the transfer amount need not be specified, and you can just specify it as dues. When the amount is specified as dues, what it means is that whatever amount is due, either as a fee or as a loan installment, then that gets paid from your savings account. Okay, so when you do this kind of installment payment, the amount has to be dues, or the I don't remember the field name exactly. The type has to be dues and not a fixed amount. So that should take care of it. What we could do is I could just walk you through that screen today, very brief way, and if you could test that out and let me know if that doesn't meet your requirements, and then we can see how best, whether we need to enhance it or whether there are any further additions needed for it.
Okay. Yeah, and I think just Patrick, like the Musoni folks, they're going to do more of a reference implementation with their own SMS gateway. So Sander will share more details of that once that's been done. And then Kaha, did you want to touch on any of the UI work your team has been looking at for the SMS integration to provide some of those screens to handle some of what's there now in the platform?
Well, what we did regarding the SMS is very simple thing. We just used one of the SMS services, which was a gateway. We registered one phone on that, and then we actually, without any UI, we put the text, predefined text into the database. Imagine if in future it would be done directly from the UI, defining the template according to Binny's requirement and the rules of the month or job day. And we run the service which was sending this predefined text directly from the database to that predefined phone number. So it was a kind of test which helped us to understand how SMS is working for the predefined text using a special gateway service. That was the result of our investigation. And our future steps are, we are going to design the template. And
excuse me, if you can get a bit closer to your microphone, I think it's a bit faint. I don't know, I'm not able to hear you properly.
Okay, is it better now? Hello, is it better now?
Yes.
Would you like me to repeat?
Just a couple of steps.
Yes, yes.
So what we did regarding the SMS, we split it work into two parts. First part was investigation, research. For that part, we put into the database a special predefined text. And also we connected to the special gateway service using one of our colleagues' phone. And then we wrote a small software which was sending this predefined text using the using this service to this predefined number. They had a special, this gateway has a special REST-based UI, and with this REST service, we sent this. It was a REST-based, right? Yes. Yes, it was a REST-based SMS gateway, and the service was sending this input text to this one number. So our next step now is to define the templates for the SMS and the business rules when those SMS has to be sent. It could be on-demand service, like you will have a UI, SMS management UI, when you can click the send button and text will be sent to the predefined users, groups, or clients. And the next one is a job-based SMS sending. This is just one of the idea. Of course, we are not going to do it without your approval. So the second one is a job-based SMS service, which will be automatically sending SMS. Let's say every time when the loan is postponed, or every time when the overdue amount is greater than predefined amount, etc., etc. There will be some conditions when those SMS messages has to be sent. This is our short plan, which is documented together with business requirements of the Google Doc. So if it is okay and it is not overlapping to someone else's work, we can do that. Thank you.
Thanks, Kaha, for that overview. And if you want to share the link to your Google Doc in the chat, please do so, and I'll also post it to the notes. So.
Yes, okay. I just don't know the link for the notes, where you're putting the notes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me paste that again, Kaha.
Yes.
Yeah, and then one other feature that should be making its way into the next, one of the next major releases will be the PPI integration, and so that'll be coming up soon once again. So, and then I guess so. Thanks for everyone for the questions around that. Like Binny was going to demo a few of the features from Mifos 1.22, and then Oleg from the FINA team is also going to showcase a little bit of the work he's been doing around the drag and drop report builder, or the ad hoc report builder that he's going to be working on for his Google Summer of Code project. So Binny, do you want to start, or would you rather have Oleg start and then you go second?
Yeah, I could spend 15 minutes and just go over the features, and then Oleg could continue with.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Let me pass the presentation mode to you then, Binny. Okay. Yep. So I've made you the presenter, Binny. So your screen should be visible. Yeah. So we can see your screen
just
now.
Let me know
Binny.
once all of you are able to see my screen. So I'm doing this on the demo server itself, so most of you should be able to try this out on your own, most of the things. What I would like to cover is, I'll just quickly run through the, I think most of you would have seen the new deposit accounts we have, which is current accounts, term deposits, and the fixed deposits. Then the disbursal to savings accounts. So I'll just very quickly run through these features. So I've created a user called BGS013. So most of the work I've been doing on this one, on this particular client. Now, I have, let me show the definition of the products first. I have, under the products, I have defined a fixed deposit, which is saying that if the amount is, I can deposit a certain amount of time, a certain amount for a certain period of time. So in this example, I can deposit, minimum deposit amount is 5,000, maximum is 500,000, and I can deposit in multiples of 1,000. And once I deposit, a withdrawal is not allowed, and it has to be the minimum deposit term is 6 months, and the maximum deposit is 36 months. So which is basically 6 months to 3 years, you can make a term deposit. And after 6 months, it's in multiples of 3 months. That means you may not be able to do a deposit for 8 months, but you'll be able to do a deposit for 9 months, 12 months, etc., 15 months, etc. And the interest rate varies based on the number of months. What this section here is, this interest rate is valid from 1st of January 2012, and there is no end date, which means that it continues. indefinitely, and for 6 months to 18 months the interest rate is 8%, and for 19 months to 36 months the interest rate is 8.5%. I can add additional buckets by clicking on this add button. I just clicked on it now, and I can have say 37 to 48. I can have 9% as the interest. So this is possible. Okay, so now this is my definition itself, and let me go back to my client, which is VGS13. VGS is my initials. And so here under the more options, I have this option of creating a new fixed deposit or term deposit. And when I click on this, I select the product name, and there are a few features here. Below it says it gives me the interest rate that is applicable, which is not editable. This is defined at the product level, where you say that 6 to 18 months is 8% and 19 months to 36 months is 8.5%. And any premature closure related parameters are also set. For example, if I close before, I took a fixed deposit for 2 years and then I closed it after the first year, then I get interest rate which is 1% less than whatever is applicable for 1 year. Okay, that is a penal interest rate that is applicable. I can specify those also, both at the product level as well as I specified at the product level. I cannot change it while I'm creating the account itself. Now, one of the features that we're working on is here we'll be able to select, there'll be one more field which says that open this savings account from, this deposit account from your savings account. That means the money is taken out of your savings account. I don't think that feature is implemented yet. It is in the development branch. It is not there on the demo yet. Okay. Similar to the fixed deposits, we also have the recurring deposits, where instead of making a one-time deposit, let me just go to the products and show you that. Instead of making a one-time deposit, you'll be making a periodic deposit, or something what is called as the systematic investments. Okay, here we have the recurring deposits, and here I have one recurring deposits which I can deposit in multiples of 50. Minimum deposit amount is 100. The default deposit amount is 250, and maximum deposit amount is 2,500. And this amount recurs on a monthly basis or a weekly basis, etc. Okay, I can define the interest posting and compounding period, etc., which is applicable for both fixed and term deposits. Okay, now more or less the interest rate chart is more or less very similar to what we saw in the fixed deposit, and also specifying the period in terms of whether it is for 1 year, 15 months, 18 months, 36 months, etc. So, and the frequency of deposits, whether it's voluntary or mandatory kind of recurring deposit. The difference between voluntary and mandatory is that if it is voluntary, even if you skip a deposit, it is still okay. If it is mandatory, if you skip a deposit, then it shows up as an overdue amount from this customer. Okay. Now, let me go back to the client now. I have opened a couple of accounts for this. So I have this is the test share account is nothing but a savings account, which I'm using as the source of funds for all other accounts. So for example, if I want to make my loan payments from my savings account, I use my test share account as the source of funds for making all my payments. Now, how do I set that up? Here under view standing instruction versus create standing instructions. Okay, so to answer Patrick's questions, I'm going to create a standing instruction here, which will make a loan payment. I will call it as my loan repayments. This is nothing but a logical name that I'm giving it to it so that I can identify these. The type is, it's a loan repayment. The type I would select it as loan repayment. Priority is, in the next releases we'll probably hide this and we'll associate a priority to each of the types of transactions rather than allowing the user to select this. Status is active. The account type is from my savings account, and I select which account, which is my, currently it's showing my term deposits and recurring deposits also, but that is a small change we'll be doing. We will not show the recurring deposits or term deposits because you cannot transfer any money out of these accounts without closing those accounts. The destination can, for this release we have only own account. We do not allow, for this release we allow both within the bank as well as own account. In one of the subsequent releases we'll even have some kind of an integration with, so that it allows you to transfer outside the bank using Swift or something of that sort. Okay, so own account means the client name is hard-coded. You will not be able to change it. If you were to select somebody else's within bank, you can select another office and you can say specify which is the customer within that. This office does not have any customers. Here I would be saying that transfer to this branch and to this customer. So let me select it as own account for now so that I can show you the loan account payments. To account type, I would be saying the loan account, and to account I have to select which is my loan account. Here I have BGS IGL flat, which is income generating loan with a flat interest calculation. And the instruction type would be, instead of, this is what I was mentioning earlier, instead of specifying it as fixed amount, I would say the dues. Okay, so what dues means is that whatever amount is due, it gets deducted from my savings account. And the validity is where I can specify do it from today, 15th, and all the way till the end of the year. So December 31st. Okay, so whatever dues happens between these two dates will be deducted automatically. And instead of specifying a specific periodic recurrence, I will just say it as per dues recurrence. That means as per your loan repayment frequency, this standing instruction will also be executed. And I don't select the others, and I'll just submit. So here I have created a standing instruction from today. This is my, the second one is the one. And here, this is the one that I created for my loan payments. And if I click on this view, it shows me the details along with the link to see the view transaction history. Now I'm not able to show it to you today because I don't think that loan has a due as of today. So, but if it had a due as of today, and I ran the batch job that is related to the standing instruction, then that amount would get deducted. And if I look at view transaction history, there would be an entry here which shows that that amount has been deducted from my savings account. Now one new batch job has been introduced because of this. Let me go to system, and under scheduler jobs we would have something called a execute standing instruction. Okay. So this one is the batch job that actually takes care of executing the batch jobs at the end of the day or whatever time it is scheduled for. Okay. So Patrick, does that answer your question regarding the loan repayments from savings account?
Yes, it does. So I'll test it and then I'll get you the feedback.
Yeah, sure. If there's any feedback, just let me know.
And then Binny, is that only, oh sorry Binny.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is that only you have to do that for each individual client? Is it possible where you could do that for an entire office where you could just say it's from, you know, a default savings account to their loan account, or do you have to just do it per client right now?
You would have to set it up per client right now.
Okay. And then in the event that, like Patrick was saying, there aren't sufficient funds in the savings account, would it
it would fail, and there is no automatic retry as of today. So what you would see here in this screen, there is a transaction history. When you click on the view transaction history, it actually says whether it was successful or not. Oh, I don't see a status being displayed here. That was the idea. The idea was to show all the transactions here with an indication to specify whether it was successful or not.
Okay. And then if they had set up the savings account to have an overdraft facility, would it overdraw the account to the?
Yes, up to the limit. So I have that set up too. So let me just go to my. This is a account where I have. Let me open a new account. So if I were to open a new savings account, let me select it as save my transactional account, and here there is overdraft allowed and the maximum overdraft limit. Okay, so I've set this to 25,000. So if I were to set this on my savings account, then even if I don't have sufficient balance, it would still allow me to overdraw it, and the loan would still get paid.
Okay.
There is also an option for to disburse my loan to my savings account. So let me query one of my other customers. I'm just looking at a loan which is not yet disbursed. So here I have a loan which is approved, and I need to attach a savings to the loan account. So I'm going to look at a loan which is not yet approved. And here if I click on my modify application, there is a field now that gets displayed where I can select the account, the savings account. Yeah, here there is a field called link savings. Okay, so now if I set this as my savings account, okay, I've selected my own savings account and I've saved it. Okay, so now once I link my savings account to my loan account, then I can do a disbursal to that savings account. Okay, I'll just approve it as of today just to show it. It may not make sense. The repayment schedule may not make sense, but I'll just show you. Now here you have another option that comes up, disburse to savings. So earlier we used to have only the disburse account. Now when you disburse to savings account, what happens is this 2,000 actually goes as a deposit into your transaction account. So it is not getting disbursed as cash. I just did a disbursal now. Now if I were to go back to this customer and look at my transactional account, I would have a transaction which says there's a deposit of 2,000, which is, if I click on this one, it actually shows me that it was a transfer from this account, from my loan account of 4727 and into this account, into my savings account. Okay, so this is what the disbursal to a savings account is, and not really a cash disbursal. As I mentioned earlier, we are also working on paying interest also into your savings account. Right now it is not yet in the demo version. It is still under development. Yeah, there are a couple of more features that I want to demo, but before I get into those features, because those are not really related to either savings or loan accounts, so I'll just stop here and ask, are there any questions or any comments before I go to the other features? Okay, then let me cover the other two features which I want to cover.
I think what you've done is great. I think what you guys have done is great. I think, but in respect to the scheduler jobs. I don't know, maybe the cron expression. Is there any link you can direct me to so that I can learn about those expressions, because that will state exactly how the job should run and all that, because I think I want to understand that. So if you can help me with a link or how I understand what the cron expression, what it means, and how I can formulate some, I'll be grateful. That's all I want to ask.
Okay, so basically, Patrick, if I understood you right, you want to use cron on Linux to set up your scheduler jobs so that you don't have to manually invoke it, you can run it at a specific time, correct? So you need some details around how to set up the cron job and the cron, what the cron expression is, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I will send you some notes offline. I will need to refer to it, but I don't think it is very difficult to do that. There are some cron tab commands that you need to execute. Okay, let me move on to the other features that I wanted to demonstrate. I'm moving on to a different instance of, this is not the demo instance because this one needs a little bit of more data. So this feature is called, earlier we used to have the collection sheet. Now we have done an improvement of that collection sheets to make the data entry much more simpler. Okay, so I'm straight away going to the collection sheet. And earlier the workflow that was involved with the collection sheet was that you would select a branch, you would select the loan officer, and you would select the date on which, you would select the center. This is the, say, this center, and it would populate the date automatically. And you would, if you click on collection sheet, it would actually throw up the collection sheet, which is for that center, just for one center. Now the disadvantage of this approach is that you have to go one by one each centers, and you need to be aware of which centers are due for collection today, because you need to select those centers upfront. Now, so if a loan officer was handling 10 centers, then you would have to actually go through this screen of selecting the centers, entering the date, or automatically populating the date, and then clicking on view collection sheet, this button 10 times. Now an alternate approach that we were thinking of is, instead of going center by center, we would go staff by staff. Okay, so for example, now what I'm doing is, I'm not going to select a center. Instead, I will select the office, I would select a staff, and I would enter a date, and I would click on this other button which is called productive collection sheet. Now what this does is, it shows me all the centers that need to be collected for that given day. So let me click on this. Now what this has done is, it shows the 4 centers. This officer, which is loan officer 91, has to collect 4 centers for office 8 on 8th of May. And it gives me a summary of the first one. It is in a different color, so this is the currently active tab. It shows only the totals here, and if all the totals match, I don't even need to expand this and see which is the customer. So don't worry about this customer name that is getting displayed. We have used some live data and kind of anonymized that data, change it to first name, last name as hard-coded value. So this is customer ID 11,480, and this is the amount that is due. So in a normal scenario, 95% of, or maybe even higher than that, 95% of the times, all centers will pay all their dues. So you just have to check the amounts and then submit and go to the next center. So what would happen is, it would go to the next center. The next centers, the amount, we have missed out putting the headers here. 5216 is for the first product and 2756 is for the second product. So we missed to put those headers here. So for example, if I expand it, RL is the first product short name and SL is the second product. So this is the sum of SL, and the first one is the sum of the RL product. and I can just, once I'm done with this, I can just click on submit and move to the next center. Oops, I'm getting a server error here. Let me try that again. Oh, there is something wrong here. So, but the workflow here would be that I would look at the first center, submit, and move to the next center so that it automatically moves to this center. And the first center's color would change to green so that I know that this center, I've completed the collection for this center. Okay. And another option available here is to view this in full screen so that you can hide all the menus, etc. If I click on view full screen, this completely occupies the entire screen with just the collection sheet, so that we can view more data and it is easier to do the data entry. I can see that on the demo server there are some errors, either because of the data that we migrated, or I don't know what the reason is. It could be that we didn't move the data correctly. So I will look at that and correct this. Okay, so this is purely from a data entry perspective to ensure that data entry for collection sheet can be done much faster. So for one loan officer, you need to come to the screen only once. Any questions on that?
And Binny, just to just to clarify, so there's three colors. There'll be the yellow if it's not been submitted and you're not currently viewing it, orange if you are currently viewing that center's collection sheet, and then green if it's been submitted.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, is there any one, like a red one, where if it was the following day and that one hadn't been submitted, it would?
No, we haven't included something called red. We only have a yellow which says that it's either due or overdue.
Okay, but they can submit they could submit, like they don't have to submit by the end of the day all 4 of the centers, so they would be able just to submit 3 of them if those are the only ones completed. So.
Yes, yeah, that is correct. So in the next day they could come back and see one more as yellow, and they could just go to that tab and complete that and then submit it.
Okay. Oh, so to clarify on that, so if that one on the next day, would that would just, the one that wasn't completed the prior day, that would just show up as one that's due for the following day, or would they have to run it for the past day?
Yeah, it would just show up as yellow. You would see the other 3 also in green.
Okay.
Okay, so that it's easy for the user to identify which one the data entry is not yet complete.
And when do you think, Binny, this will be shipped as part of a public release?
Yes.
What's the time frame? Yeah.
This would be done in the next release.
Okay.
See, this code is already there. I think it is there on the demo server. It is just that on the demo server, we don't have enough data to actually show this feature.
Okay.
So if the feature has already been released. Okay. I need to check whether this error what we are seeing is because of this on this specific instance, because this is developer.openmf.org and not really the demo instance. So I need to see whether why this error happens. Okay, last feature that I just want to show before we get into what Oleg wanted to see is the accrual accounting. Let me go to products. Sorry, I will not show it on this. I'll show it on the demo instance. Under products, if you look at, say, a loan product, let me take up this one, this loan. Now, this allows me, earlier we used to have only cash accounting. The options available was only none, that is no accounting, and cash accounting. Now we have another 2 options, which is basically accrual accounting, where we recognize all income upfront, or the other option is accrual accounting, where we recognize the income only when the amount is due. Okay, so if I click on, let me show the accrual upfront first, where all the receivables will be recognized, or the accounting entries for all income will be recorded as journal entries right at the time of disbursal. Okay, so we would have to specify which is the interest receivable account, which is the fee receivable account, and the penalties receivable account. These are all income related receivables. There will not be a payable here. So this is the only difference from a configuration perspective. But internally, the way the accounting entries are recorded are quite different from cash accounting, where first the income is shown as a receivable, and then when the cash is received, the cash account is debited and the receivable account is credited. Okay, so it is more in the internal accounting entries that the major change will be visible. In case of accrual accounting also, from the user interface perspective, there is not much difference. You would still record the interest receivable, fee receivable, penalties receivable. The difference is that when you say accrual accounting periodic, the accounting entries are passed only when the amount actually becomes due. For example, if the loan was disbursed on 1st of April and the first interest is due on 15th of April. So when you're looking at upfront accounting, the interest is recognized right at the time of disbursal, that is on 1st of April itself, you would have the interest being recognized. But in the second case, where the accrual periodic, the interest will be recognized only on the 15th of April. That is on the date on which that interest is becoming due, interest, fees or penalty, anything, which is becoming due. So this is the difference. So you will see that depending on which type of accounting that you do, you select for the product, the corresponding accounting entries get automatically generated if it is accrual accounting. If it is cash-based accounting, no automatic entries are generated. The accounting entries are generated only when you actually do a make payment or make disbursal or any of those actual cash or actual loan related transaction. Okay. So this is the other feature, big feature that we have released recently. I think I've covered more or less, or at least touched upon the various features that we have released in this release. So I would suggest that all of you try these features out, or whatever interests you, try these out. If you have any questions or anything that doesn't work, or you think there is a better way to do it, or any enhancements that you want to suggest, you could let me know. Any questions before I hand it over to Oleg?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We are very happy to see this feature. Thank you very much. And many thanks to the development team. This is really very useful. Thank you very much.
Yep.
We will test it carefully, and maybe later we will have some questions, but this is exactly what we need.
Yeah, sure, Kaha. I'll look forward to hearing your comments. I agree with you. This is something that is absolutely required, and I think a lot of financial institutions would not even consider Mifos without proper accrual accounting.
Yeah, I also add my voice to Oleg. I think this is a very, very important step. There are a lot of things that this will resolve for us as specialists on the field. So we'll test it and definitely give you feedback.
Yep.
Especially on the standard instructions for the loan repayment, and also with the accrual accounting. It's something I'm interested in.
Okay, thanks. I'll look forward to your comments.
Well, thanks, Binny. You covered a lot in a short amount of time, and like the others have said, these are some very major features that are really helping to move the depth of feature support that Mifos X has, and helping to bring it in line with other systems out there. And so, Oleg, hopefully everybody will still be able to stay on. I know we're at the hour limit, but Oleg just wants to give a short presentation, so it only should be another 10 minutes or so. So let me make you the presenter, Oleg, and then we'll let you jump right in. So,
Edward, before I share a screen, I want to make a little introduction about product I want to talk. I'm working on. As regards to Saiku, my first task was to make research on this open source project if it meets our requirements and if it's easy to integrate with Mifos. So the reason why I choose Saiku among other alternatives is that it's open source, it's licensed under Apex version 2.0, same as Mifos, and it has a rich functionality which satisfies almost all requirements listed in this document. I'll post it in chat.
Okay.
Okay. So I posted, you can see this document issue where there's requirements. Also, it has a rich drag and drop based user interface, which I'll demonstrate to you. Also, it has a great data visualization, which I think is a crucial aspect of interacting the integration with the data. So, from technical point, Saiku is based on JavaScript, REST, and Spring. I have talked with Nick, and I think we won't have any problems with integration with Mifos. So let me tell you about my tasks. First, the task is to connect Saiku with Mifos database and create a queue. I'm working on that currently. The second subtask is to integrate security and UI in Mifos. We will start working on it after your approval on the first task. So now I'm working on XML mapping. At current moment, I can output some simple data from Mifos database, like clients and officers and ones. So I will share my screen now and demonstrate it to you.
So basically, Ed, just to add a couple of words. If you remember, we split the work into two parts. One was Saiku, another was the integrated native JavaScript querybuilder. So another gentleman is working with the querybuilder because we are not ready to demonstrate it. And Oleg did some research on Saiku, which again consists of two steps, as he explained, to connect Saiku to the Mifos database and create a model queue. And second is to integrate it with security and UI.
Before I show you, I want to demonstrate to you a tool where I'm creating a queue. It's called Schema Workbench. So I have created a simple queue. But in a few days, I will be able to demonstrate you a simple report building in Saiku. So let's see how it looks in Saiku. So there we have current code. So it shows 1 minute. This query shows how many loans has Georgian lari as a currency and how much is its pro principal. One more thing that this tool has is data visualization. On previous meeting, Binny mentioned that he wants to have following functions like data visualization and export it as XML or PDF. So as you see, this tool has many type of visualizations. So also it has export. You can export it as PNG, JPEG image, PDF, or SVG. For example, let's export data exporting. Also, you can export it as XML. So there you see. So let's build another query. For example, so there you see clients that are registered in Tbilisi,
which is the capital of Georgia, by the way, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Or for example, registered in New Delhi. So don't judge strictly. I will show you a better presentation on in a few days. Now I'm working on the mapping the XML, so I can show you many other reports.
Main thing here is a mapping matrix. This mapping matrix building a cube, the data cube model. So here is an example how he built this matrix, which is a link between the model and the data structure. Okay, could you please show me?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I want to find out. So, okay, so you can't use the Saiku itself to create the cube. Doesn't mean you have to use the schema workbench to create the cube and bring it to Saiku, or you can create the cubes in Saiku itself. I'm not getting that part clearly.
Sorry, could you please repeat the question? The connection is breaking and we cannot understand it.
Yeah, there was a little bit of background noise at your end, Patrick, like other people talking in the back.
Yeah, I'm in an open area, sorry for that.
No,
But I'm saying that from what I've seen here, doesn't mean inside you cannot create the cubes inside you have to use what you call it, the schema workbench to create it or what?
Edward, could you please explain us question? If you
Yeah, so Patrick was asking, do you have to use Schema Workbench to create the cube, or can you create the cube in Saiku? So where do you create the cube first?
Well, we're using the tool Schema Workbench.
It's just one of the tools to create the mapping matrix. You can use any other, or just put it.
You can't create cube in Saiku.
Or you can or can't, Oleg?
You can't. Saiku can't create a cube.
Okay.
For creating a cube, you need to use such tools as Schema Workbench.
And then the goal of this feature, though, Patrick, is
so
that...
Oleg,
Oh, sorry, Binny, go on.
sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Oh, no, I was just clarifying to Patrick that these initial mappings would be, and the cubes would be created up front. So the goal would be the end user would just have that drag and drop query builder, so they wouldn't be doing anything at the level of creating the cube in these initial mappings. That's all I wanted to say, beneath.
Yeah, this mapping will be built only once, and the user never needs to build this cube. Of course, if he don't want to do some advanced, things and configuration changes. But basically, when Oleg will finish building those mapping metrics, the basic user or administrator, they never need to change it. The tool which you have seen, is just to build this cube easily. That's easy. You can use any other tool or build it directly manually. I hope we answered your question.
Okay, I would agree with that. The idea is that the creation of the cubes would be a one-time activity and would not be exposed to an end user, and only what you see on the Saiku screen would be actually exposed to the end users. And my question there is it easy to integrate the Saiku screen with, say, Mifos X User Interface? Yes. Have you tried it out? Second question. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Binny. Sorry for interrupting you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, the related question is that whether we will take care of the security that is built into Mifos. Security, what I mean is a user usually has access only to their branch data. Okay, so how will we deal with that level of?
Yes, one of the reasons why we choose the Saiku, because from technological point of view, it is very close to Mifos. It's based on Spring, so it's the same security, and we think that we can make something like embeddable Saiku into Mifos. So it will use one security engine. And another thing is JavaScript. From the client side, it's based on the JavaScript. So we think that it will be very easy, and this is a next level of our research. We will try now to put everything, whatever you will see. Could you please just go back to the Saiku screen? Because that one is not important. So we want now this to integrate inside of Mifos. So if we will succeed with that, I need to integrate the security and the UI, then you will open it after you log in into the Mifos. You will see the Mifos main infrastructure UI, and this screen, whatever you see right now on the Oleg's computer. This is our idea.
Okay.
No, but this is coming along.
Yeah, what I would suggest is once.
Oh no, go on, Binny. So sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, what I was going to say is that once you're done with that, it would make sense to run it through some of the other senior architects like John Woodlock or Vishwas, etc., just to be sure that there is no obvious technical glitches that we didn't think of.
Sure, sure.
Okay, I think this looks good.
Sure, and this is only plan A. We have also plan B. You remember another guy is working to build the query builder directly using only JavaScript without any third-party application.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if this works, I think as long as we are able to customize the user interface to kind of suit Mifos and the security is also taken care of, I think this would do very well for what we want to offer our clients.
Yeah, another reason, Binny, another rationale towards this Saiku is that Saiku also Pentaho tool. This is part of Pentaho together with Mondrian. So it was another reason why we select this product, because actually this is part of Pentaho, which was selected by Mifos.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly the biggest work which Oleg did during this week, he built the metrics, he built the model, this cube with this XML. So we hope that during the next week he will build the more advanced models and the cubes. In case if you will send us definition of the business objects, you promised us to send it a week ago, Binny. We will try to implement them in our cube, so you will see the business objects like client, loans, things like that directly into this drag and drop tool.
Yeah, sorry, things got delayed from my side. I will send you those definitions by Saturday.
Okay.
Ed, I interrupted you. Did you have a question around this?
Oh no, no questions from my end. I was just going to say, yeah, this is looking very good, Oleg, and you're making good work even before the summer of coding period has started. So thank you so much. And then Kaha, could you elaborate on how Saiku is now part of Pentaho? Patrick was asking about that.
Well, if you will go to the pentaho.com, you will see that Saiku and Mondrian is one of the Pentaho projects. It's financed and integrated into. Yes, yes. Yeah, Nick is just telling me that in enterprise version of the Pentaho, they put the Saiku and Mondrian. So this is a separate project which used into Pentaho.
Okay, and that's in the enterprise version of Pentaho. Okay.
Yes, but we are not using the enterprise
Yeah.
as a. We are just taking directly the Saiku, which is a separate project, open source
Okay.
project, and we are integrating it directly into our software. Of course, you know, the commercial users can take the commercial version of Pentaho and he will have everything integrated. In our case, we will do it ourselves. Nick wants to add a couple of words.
It's based off Oleg code implementation, and in Pentaho Enterprise Edition is integrated like we are planning to integrate on Mifos.
Yes. Actually, we want to do the same into Mifos. What Pentaho guys did in Pentaho, they integrated Saiku into Pentaho server.
Okay. But yeah, well, thanks Oleg, Taha, and the whole team for taking the time to show this off to everyone today. I think the community, will be looking forward to this, and it sounds like an exciting project that Oleg will be working on this summer. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you everyone. I know we're 20 minutes over, but I think we covered a lot of good features, and we got some good questions. So even though we had a small crowd, it was a very effective call, and I'll make sure we get the notes and the screencast sent out. So thank you, Binny, for doing such a nice demo on the various features, and thank you, Oleg, for your showcase as well.
All right, thank you everyone, and
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.